For the sixth time in the last 8 home games, they are jam-packed into Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati for a Game 2 of this 3-game series between division rivals. And oh my goodness, what a finish here last night thanks to that man Brandon Phillips. And the Reds creeping to within a game of 500. They're 3 games back in the division. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. Well, we'll see if they can build on it tonight. But clearly last night, the way it ended, a huge win for the Redlegs.
Well, anytime that you have a walk-off win is one thing, but walk-off home run is something else, especially when it's in front of a packed crowd as last night was. I don't know that you could have had a better baseball game for fans. Up and down, clutch hitting, missed opportunities. It was everything in the bag, but the one thing that counted the most was the Reds came out on top.
And if you didn't see it, it sounded and looked a lot like this. 1-0 on Brandon. In the air, left center field. Did he? Did he? He did! He did! He did! Reds win! Reds win! Reds win!
Wow, man. I was just down on myself the whole game for making that error, man. It's not like me to make errors. And, you know, I was just thinking in my head, I got to do something to pick the team up. We really needed that, man, and I'm just happy we got that game.
So Brandon Phillips and company hoping to make it back-to-back wins here tonight over the Cardinals. Bronson Arroyo, Chris Carpenter go toe-to-toe. We'll talk more about that matchup in just a moment.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, about 5 minutes away from game time tonight. Reds and the Cardinals, round 2 of this 3-round heavyweight fight inside the National League Central. Had a little rain a bit earlier, but what about the rest of the night? We check in with Jeff Creighton.
Well, the heat is on at Great American Ballpark. Reds and Cardinals tonight. First pitch, 87 degrees, 82 by the 7th inning. By that final out, 79 degrees. We've seen a few showers out there this afternoon. We still run that risk of an isolated shower or thunderstorm through the game. We've got one down. Let's take another one, Reds.
We'll see if they can do it. Chris Carpenter has been a Reds killer through the years, Cowboy.
Well, he has been, Tom, specifically because this guy has no fear. He will throw any pitch at any time, and because of his veteranship on the mound, he has a whole lot of confidence, especially against this Reds ball club. You look at Bronson Arroyo, last time out, 1 inning, 2 inning. And I would hope that tonight that Dusty Baker and pitching coach Brian Price would be making sure that they take a note of Bronson Arroyo. The first part of the season, not so great for Arroyo, but look at those numbers right there, especially this number here, the ERA in the second half. That's what the Reds need from Arroyo starting tonight.
Well, the Cardiac Kids did it again last night. Here we go. Reds and Cardinals next on Fox Sports Ohio.
Auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state. By your local Ford dealer. Is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, drive one. By the Regional Tourism Network. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time.
Just about set to go here at Great American Ballpark. Cardinals and the Reds. Here's Tony La Russa's lineup. Daniel Descalso, his second career start at short. John Jay for Rasmus in center. Albert Pujols at first. Holliday, Berkman, and Freese in the middle. Molina batting seventh. The pitcher Carpenter batting eighth. We've seen Tony La Russa do that many times before. Skip Schumacher batting ninth, playing second base. So Bronson Arroyo against Descalso, and here we go on this Saturday night. And a breaking ball is strike one, and we're underway. Certainly a disappointing first half for Arroyo, who's won 15 or more in each of the last 3 years. But trying to rev it up, as he's done so many times before during the second half of the season during his major league career. 0-2 on Descalso, and we'll do it again. Reds a game under, 46 up, 47 down, 3 back. In the National League Central Division, the Cardinals, the co-leaders along with the Pirates, a half a game better than Milwaukee. Astros and the Pirates just underway at Minute Maid Park. We'll keep you up to date on that throughout the entire night. And a little bit later on, Milwaukee will play in Denver. The Brewers have lost the first 2 games after the All-Star break. Still 1-2 on Descalso. Arroyo this year has pitched twice against this St. Louis team. Back in May when the Reds swept them 3 in a row. 6 innings, 4 runs, 3 earned. And then you talked to Cowboy about the last time he faced him on July the 6th. A victim of a blown save, and boy was it a blown save. Reds had an 8-0 lead in the game, won it 9-8. Arroyo left the game with an 8-3 lead, but got charged with 2 runs that were scored off Bill Bray. Weak pop-up, and out to get it rolling. Look at the Reds defensively, presented by Ford. It'll be Stubbs flanked by Heisey and Bruce in the outfield. Renteria starts at short tonight. Up the middle along with Brandon Phillips, Roland and Votto on the corners. Arroyo and Hannigan the batter.
Even with a couple of misplays on balls last night, I still believe that this is one of the best defenses in the game of baseball today.
John Jay gets a start in center field tonight, looks at a ball. Jay has played very well when he gets a chance. 302 batter, 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Hit hard into right. Bruce got a jump on it, but it falls softly. And that'll be a 1-out single for the Cardinals center fielder. And here comes Albert Pujols.
Looked like an off-speed pitch that Jay got out and just hooked it. It was a changeup middle away, and Jay was there to hook it right into right field.
Jay 5 stolen bases. He's been thrown out 8 times. Albert Pujols hitless in his first 2 at-bats last night. Had a home run taken away when Heisey went up and over the wall to end the first inning. But then Pujols started the 3-run rally in the 7th with a hit. And this might be a double play if they can turn it quickly. And they do. Hard, clean slide by Jay. But Phillips able to turn it over. Gloves, that's part of the job.
I think the big thing for Bronson Arroyo is to make sure that everything is slow, slower, and slowest. to Mr. Albert Pujols. The harder you throw it, the harder he hits it. And boy, every time you turn around, Brandon Phillips is involved in something good for the Reds.
Drew Stubbs, Edgar Renteria, Joey Votto to start it. Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, Scott Rowland in the middle. Chris Heisey, Ryan Hannigan, Bronson Arroyo at the bottom. Chris Carpenter making his 20th start, has 2 complete games. Beat the Reds 1-0 when they saw him on the 4th of July. Strike one to Stubbs, who is not only back in the lineup, but back in that leadoff spot.
Dusty Baker said it yesterday, said he is my center fielder. But the thing that Drew Stubbs has got to figure it out, and nobody can do it but himself. Confidence makes contact.
Quickly 0-2 on Stubbs. And he grounds it foul.
Stubbs gets caught up, it seems like, in the traditional art of hitting in the #1 spot, which is taking pitches and working the count. That's not the kind of hitter he is. He's a first pitch fastball hitter, and he likes to hit early in the count.
Well, this crowd is fired up tonight. We had a sellout crowd here last night. Another sellout tonight, but there seems to be a lot of juice in the crowd tonight. That'll quiet them down. 124 strikeout of the year for Stubbs. Let's take a look at the Cardinals on defense, brought to you by Ford. Jay in center, flanked by Holiday and Berkman. Descalso, we mentioned his second major league start at short tonight. And a battery of Carpenter and Molina.
Well, it is a big zone when Mike Winters, the crew chief of this group, is behind home plate. Advantage pitchers in this scenario. A lot of high strikes, a lot of strikes that are borderline in and out.
Renteria drives one into right center field, and this will fly over the head of Berkman. And a one-hopper into the stands. So the natural question for many before the game started, why not Zach Cozart, who has a hit in every game since being brought up? But Renteria, in his first at-bat tonight, goes the other way for a one-out double.
Well, I think when you're hitting off the bench and you're playing in a backup role, which is really where Renteria is, you've got to get him an at-bat or at least a start every few days. You don't want to start him tomorrow against Garcia because Garcia just flat ate him up in St. Louis. So he's starting tonight. We'll see Cozart tomorrow.
Now an early scoring chance for the Reds, and here's Joey Votto. It's ball one.
And let's just go ahead and expect that Chris Carpenter is going to make Brandon Phillips beat him. Any pitch that comes to Votto is going to be borderline, or it's going to be a tough pitch to hit.
Breaking ball away. You may remember in that 4th of July game in St. Louis, it was a series opener, a spectacular pitcher's duel between Johnny Cueto and Carpenter. Cardinals won it with a run in the bottom of the 8th inning, 1-0. The Reds had 2 hits in the first inning off Carpenter. But he retired Jay Bruce to end the inning with 2 on, and he never looked back. Goes him a 2-0 breaking ball, flips it up there at 75, and Votto hammers it foul.
Awfully slow curveball, and I don't believe that's where Carpenter wanted that pitch. And as you recall, Tom, Carpenter is a slow starter, very similar to Westbrook in last night's game. Not as sharp early.
Came back with a fastball, and it's fouled away again. 2-2 to Votto.
Even that pitch there was a pitch that Votto decides to swing at just because he believes that he can drive the run in on that pitch. But that probably would have been a ball had he taken it.
Reds trying to jump on Carpenter here in the opening inning. And it's 3-2 on Joey Votto. balls, 2 strikes. Renteria leads at second, and there's ball 4. So the Reds have 2 on. You said the Cowboys going to make Brandon beat him. Well, here he comes. Big round of applause. Generally there is every time Phillips comes to the plate. But of course his last at bat, his last swing into the game here last night. A game-ending 2-run home run to left center field. Ball 1.
Right now for the Reds, they've got to be extra selective. They gave Westbrook some outs last night that they probably should not have early in the game. At this point of the ball game, especially with a veteran pitcher on the mound like Carpenter that's a slow starter, make him work.
Foul away, 1-1. It's the 4th time Carpenter has faced the Reds this year. He's gone 1-1 in his first 3 starts. ERA just under 4. But of course that loss. He got roughed up. I mean really roughed up. 8 runs, 9 hits in 6 1/3 innings. Fastball away, 2-1 to Phillips. And of course the crowd here, much like the Cardinal fans, they don't like Johnny Cueto. Cardinal fans don't like Brandon Phillips. Well, the Reds fans don't like Yadier Molina, and they don't like. Fastball right down the middle, upper portion of the strike zone, but it's 2-2 now on Brandon Phillips.
And that's the pitch that really helps Carpenter, when he can start it off the outside corner and bring it back to the edge of the plate. He had to where it came back, and you can see where that ball starts. It starts off the plate and runs back, just clipping the outside corner.
2-2, 2 on, 1 out, and a breaking ball, and Brandon knew it. Strike 3. Boy, that's a dandy from Carpenter.
Curveball straight over the top. And you can't throw it a whole lot better than that, especially when you as a pitcher know that you're getting the high strike from the umpire. All you've got to do is get it close.
Now Jay Bruce, 268 batter, 21 home runs, 57 runs batted in. Renteria and Votto aboard, but there are 2 outs in the inning, and he chased 1 away from him in low. Not sure you're going to do much with that pitch anyway. 0-1.
Now the one thing about Jay is if you try to pitch him up in the strike zone, even if it's a good curveball up in the strike zone, that's the pitch that he can hit out in a hurry.
Renteria with a 1-out double. Votto follow with a walk. But Carpenter strikes out Phillips for the 2nd out. And a little roller down to first, and that'll end the inning. The Reds strand 2, no score at the end of 1. storyline brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious Lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio. Contain the middle of this lineup.
Well, these are the numbers right here that you have really got to worry about. And with Bronson Arroyo having given up 25 home runs this year, if you're going to give it up, make sure nobody's on base. You can pretty much guarantee that if Arroyo pitches a ball game where he does not give up a home run against the Cardinals, the Reds will win this game.
Rolling to the glove side, throws out Matt Holliday, and that's the way we start in the second inning.
Roland can still get to the ball. It may not be as pretty as it used to be, but he's still got that gold glove over there at third base.
He bends over a lot better than you or I.
Oh, I know he bends over better than me. They've already knifed up my back enough.
And all the 40-something crowd knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
As for the first time ever, you don't just bend down maybe like you used to.
No.
We're knocking on the door at 50-something crowd.
Any crowd over 40. It contains a bend over that contains an.
One and one on Lance Berkman. Berkman, an all-star, 24 home runs, 63 runs batted in his first year, of course, as a Cardinal. And Arroyo challenges with a fastball, and Berkman fouls it off. Arroyo ahead at 1-2. We started to talk about this crowd tonight before that double play off the bat of Pools in the first inning. I mean, they are fired up tonight.
A little more vocal than what it's formed.
Of course, it was very loud here last night.
Oh, it was deafening. Phillips hit that ball out of the ballpark. And I know my heart was beating really fast because I could hear it in my ear, but I couldn't hear anything else except. That's my version of crowd noise, you know what I'm saying?
I knew that already. It's the way you do it when you're playing, you know, with your buddies.
Oh, yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
Somebody makes a little jump hook.
Or if you're pretending, throwing the ball against the garage, strike out Babe Ruth and pretend baseball.
Hennigan held that one a little bit longer than normal.
Well, that pitch has been a strike thus far on the breaking side of the ball, but the changeup, Arroyo didn't get it there.
In the air, liner into left field. It falls in front of Heisey. A bloop single for Berkman, and he's aboard with one out.
Not sure that Heisey saw that bat off the ball very well at all. Like a jam shot, and as Heisey broke to the baseball, see, he's standing in sunlight, and that ball started out where the ball landed. Normally, I would think that Heisey has enough range to catch that ball, but Heisey is going from the sunlight into the baseball. I just don't think he saw it.
So now the third baseman, David Freese, he takes a strike. Freese missed 51 games with a broken hand after getting hit by a pitch against Washington earlier this year. And when he has played, you see he has played very, very well. 3 home runs, 19 batted in. Renteria gets to it, throws, and they got the out of Berkman. That's a nice play by Edgar Renteria.
Really a nice play on both ends. Phillips knows that he cannot get a double play here, so immediately he goes from being a second baseman and turns into a first baseman. The only play you have is at second. Phillips gets on the bag and puts the stretch out. Check him out. Nice stretch. Out of baby.
chorus of boos per usual welcomes Yadier Molina. That dates back, of course, to the fight last year here at Great American Ballpark. Up the middle. Edgar, a little easier flip this time. They hit a man left. Roland Heisey Hannigan coming up in a scoreless game. .com chat with Hall of Fame baseball writer Hal McCoy. He'll also share a story about Hall of Famer Whitey Ford, presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and SafeAuto.com. And check out our new show, Boys in the Hall, featuring Whitey Ford. That'll be after the game tomorrow, right here on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds come to bat, bottom of the second inning. A scoreless game. Scott Rowan, a fly ball into left center field. Jay drifting, and he got it. Boys, Jay made a couple of unbelievable plays when the Reds were in St. Louis a week and a half ago, and a nice one there.
I think if Jay comes on the scene before Colby Rasmus, Jay is your starting center fielder. But it didn't happen that way. And part of the reason that Jay is getting more playing time is because of the lack of offense for Colby Rasmus right now. He is struggling with a capital S.
Chris Heisey in the leadoff spot, of course, last night. Hit a couple of solo home runs, giving him now 12 on the year. He was on base 3 times, scored 3 times. 2-0. Goes to 2-1 on the foul ball. Take a look at that guy. That'd be a good look for you, Cowboy. Maybe in an open soon with that lid. Broken bat. Good play made by the Cardinal shortstop. I beg your pardon, Descalso getting a start. We brought up earlier only his second career start at shortstop.
Surprised that he was able to get Heisey gloving the ball the way that he did and then bringing it up to his hand. Normally, as a shortstop, you catch the ball on a play like that and you throw it from where you catch it. So, and otherwise, you catch the baseball and you throw from down under. Descalso there fielded the ball with one hand, the glove hand, brought it up to his throwing hand, and then threw the baseball. Not the proper technique.
A 2 away now for the number 8 hitter, Ryan Hannigan. Ball 1. Carpenter, they believe, they being the Cardinals, that he had finally started to put it all together for the first time all year. He went through a 3-start run, the third one being that game against the Reds, where he had an ERA of under 1, and Arizona really roughed him up his last start before the break. And after a shaky first, he retires the side in order in the second, still no score.
And those 8 walk-offs didn't help their one-run tally there. But I tell you, we had a walk-off tonight, first one we've had in a long time, and man, it was big for Brandon. I mean, we came back, they came back. I mean, they had playoff atmosphere. You know, that was a big home run that Albert hit for them after a walk, and then Kozar got the big hit for us, and then Brandon followed with the home run.
Geico direct quote following the game last night from the victorious skipper Dusty Baker.
I think the biggest thing that Dusty said right there was about execution. And when you can't execute, you are not going to win baseball games, especially against teams that are in the upper echelon of your division.
Well, Tony La Russa turning back the clock, as he has done regularly, by inserting the pitcher into the number 8 spot in the batting order. And obviously not an ideal situation when the number 7 hitter makes a final out in an inning. But there are other times when you'll have that number 9 hitter leading off an inning. And rather than the pitcher, you got Schumacher in this case. Roller to Phillips. 1 out. All right, going into play tonight, National League Central, presented by Honda. Pirates and the Astros scoreless after an inning and a half. Milwaukee and Colorado later. 4 teams separated by a total of 3 games.
Going back to what you were talking about with the pitcher batting in the 8th spot, La Russa does that simply because as the game moves on, he wants to have as many hitters that can put the ball in play in front of Pujols as he can. Basically now Pujols is hitting in the number 4 spot. He's not going to move Pujols out of the 3. You don't want to move your best hitter around in the lineup. You keep him right there. Same thing as he did with McGuire when McGuire was in St. Louis.
Schumacher, a .262 batter. A couple of home runs, 20 runs batted in, were scoreless in the top of the 3rd. Reds had a scoring chance in the very first inning. A double by Renteria with 1 out. Votto walked. Carpenter struck out Phillips and got Bruce on a ground ball to first base. 2-2.
You've got 3 consecutive left-handed hitters after the pitcher Carpenter, and that is by design in La Russa's book of magic. hopefully one of those guys will get on, or two, in front of Pujols, and Pujols will catch one.
Three and two to Schumacher. Of course, that's what he hopes.
That's what he hopes. And for Arroyo,
We don't.
For Arroyo, from his standpoint, they've got guys hitting ahead of Pujols that are dead red fastball hitters, and Arroyo is not that kind of pitcher.
Struck him out swinging on a breaking ball. 2 away. First strike out of the game by Bronson.
And this is how you really retard having the pitcher hit in the number 8 spot, by throwing strikes and making pitches against the guys that are around the pitcher. As you said, you get Molina out to end the inning. Carpenter makes his out, and then you put the 3-2 breaking ball on a fastball hitter. He's jumping at it.
Now Daniel Descalso, he popped up to Roland, leading off the game. 2 out, nobody on. Strike 1. We told the story about Arroyo after he pitched his final start before the All-Star break that Wednesday in St. Louis. There's a base hit into left field, a 2-out single, and the inning will continue for John Jay. You know, a lot of guys were talking about where they were going for the break before the Reds knew they were going to the All-Star game. And all Arroyo talked about, and you heard it in the interview with Ron Milner a little bit earlier, all he was talking about was being able to work out and work out hard every single day to be ready for a strong second half. Not talking about going on his boat, not talking about playing guitar, not talking about with hanging out whoever it is you hang out with. All he cared about was getting the work in to get ready.
Well, he's at a point now, Tom, where he can actually do some work without getting over exasperated from the mononucleosis that he started with, and those are the numbers we showed you earlier. Arroyo traditionally is a very good second half pitcher, and it all comes from the legs. You get your legs strong, everything else follows along.
One to John Jay, singled into right field his first time up. Fouled away in a 22. Arroyo now trying to lead Pujols, standing right where you like him, and lead him in the on-deck circle when the inning comes to an end.
Cueto did that pretty well last night.
He did. Pujols made that final out in the first inning, and Cueto the next 2 times through the order retired Colby Rasmus to end the 3rd, to end the 6th, forcing Pujols to lead off the 4th and the 7th.
Rasmus, a good fastball hitter in last night's ball game, hitting in the 2 spot. Didn't help him out much. Jay has already put the ball into right field for a base hit his first at bat.
Well, he doesn't chase that one. And now 3-2 on Jay. The runner Descalso will get started on the payoff pitch. Got him looking to end the inning, and Jay knew it. Game tonight. Laurie Riley of Independence, Kentucky, who currently drives a 2004 Tacoma, will win the beautiful new Tundra on display here at the ballpark. And you can register for your chance to win by stopping by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer.
So you think it's Lowry or Laurie?
I think Laurie. I hope I'm right.
I think it's Lowry, and I think it's a dude.
Wow.
How do you like me?
Then I really got it wrong.
I'm sure we'll find out.
Well, I'm sorry if I messed it up. Three pitches, and that's an out for Carpenter to begin the third inning. We'll get ready for Reds action 30 minutes before every game with the Reds live on Fox Sports Ohio, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing at 12:30 tomorrow. Reds Live will get underway with Jim Day and Jeff Pecora. Swing and a miss by Stubbs. 0-1. Drew struck out his first time up.
Looked like the first time through the lineup, a lot of curveballs. Now he's cutting that fastball down and away. Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu. Inspired solutions, better results. That's JTM.
2-1 on Drew Stubbs. And a swing and a miss. 2-2.
Like Carpenter started to go and Stubbs was not in the box yet.
Well, you know, Cowboy, you and I have talked about that. Chris and I have talked about it. I've said it for years. When Carpenter went 5 years in a row without losing a game to the Reds, I thought they should have been doing a lot more of that kind of thing. Anything to get the guy off his rhythm a little bit. And there's ball 4.
Carpenter is a major fast worker, and he does that on purpose. He wants to get outs quickly so he can get back to the dugout. That's why he pitches deep into ball games just about every time. Gets you to swing at pitches you don't want to swing at because he's working so fast. Nothing wrong with calling timeout. Nothing wrong with making him mad either.
Now Renteria, he doubled into right center field his first time up. That is the only hit for the Reds so far tonight against Carpenter. Stubbs 23 out of 29 in stolen base attempts.
There's nothing more frustrating as a pitcher than a hitter stepping out of the batter's box, calling timeout, checking his swing. I mean, just anything that disrupts my rhythm as a pitcher, because I want to work quick and I want to get it going and roll fast.
Some of you may recall that 4th of July game when Carpenter was up against Cueto. We asked Dusty Baker before the game, are you going to run on these guys? Can you run on these guys? And naturally, the first thing most people say is, well, Yadier Molina, et cetera, et cetera. But boy, the real strength of Drew Stubbs' game is the stolen base.
And that's one of the reasons you can see Tony La Russa having somebody in the dugout giving the signs to throw over to first base in this consecutive pattern now, 3 in a row from Carpenter. That sign comes from the dugout to Molina, and then Molina gives it to the pitcher Carpenter.
Runner goes in a little roller on the third baseline. And the throw is not in time. Yeah, we've seen Freeze and Carpenter very demonstrative on the mound. He will show up his teammates from time to time. Now, I don't know if that's what he did there, but he has done it before. Where when plays behind him are not made, he gets very upset. Freeze had a hard time getting the ball out of his glove. Now, many will tell you that Carpenter was embarrassed last year when he was caught pretty much undressing Brendan Ryan inside the Cardinal dugout for a play or plays that Ryan did not make in a game against the Reds.
Well, this is the kind of thing that you want to have happen anytime Carpenter is on the mound. You would think someone that is supposed to be tough mentally, that is supposed to be a big game pitcher, would be able to handle these types of scenarios without showing that kind of emotion. Hat off, staring down the umpire, looking at his third baseman, all of the things that go into that.
And again, Cowboy, I don't want to speculate and say I know that's what he did, and I don't mean to imply that.
We don't know that. But we do know that he took his hat off and slammed it against his leg. That's a show of emotion.
Now Joey Votto. And that one is lined into left field, and that'll be a base hit. They're going to wave around the runner. And here comes a throw, not in time. Reds 1, Cardinals nothing. Bruce Stubbs safe at home, safe and secure in New York life. Boy, how money is Votto? Money!
That pitch, when you look back at where the mitt was from Yadier Molina, looked as though it was going to hit the ground, and Votto takes it right off. Look where the ball is. Look where this ball is down here. This is the dirt line down here, and it's right off the ground. Somebody has been playing cricket.
Now Brandon Phillips, ball one.
We talked about it last night, Tom, and we'll continue to talk about it both tonight and tomorrow and throughout the rest of the second half. The Reds' ability to come up with clutch hits in clutch situations are going to be the difference between playing in October and going home.
Brandon struck out looking his first time up. And another. Carpenter gets two, throws it in the dirt, and everybody's safe.
Now who do you blame now? I think Carpenter really knew what to do with the baseball there.
Boy, take a look at what happened here. I think Carpenter might be saying Votto's out, because Votto never touched the bag.
But the glove never touched him. He ran into the runner.
But is his foot on the bag?
Well, his foot is on the bag after he runs into Descalso, but the glove never touches Votto. See where the glove is? The glove never touches Votto, so he's not out. His foot was not on the bag. Knocked him off the bag.
Breaking ball in there, strike one to Bruce. I think that's why you saw Carpenter turn around and look at the umpire and was wondering what he saw. Bottom line is it's been very shaky defense in this inning for the Cardinals. Freeze couldn't get a ball out of his glove. It was scored a hit. And now they're loaded for Jay Bruce.
And now we go back to the issues that we talked about several times last night. Bases loaded, one out, an opportunity to really stretch yourself out a little bit with a lead here, especially against a very difficult pitcher. You don't get this many opportunities against Carpenter. You've got to cash it in while you have the chance.
Brew's 2 for 12 this year with the bases loaded.
Serving America's restaurants, schools, retailers, and our military around the world. JTM Food Group. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Tomorrow after the Reds game on Fox Sports Ohio, join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall. This week, Whitey Ford. Presented by Subway, where winners eat.
Tom Brokaw, huh? That'll be pretty good.
Well, now Ryan Hannigan having some kind of equipment issue. He's late getting out from the dugout. Reds with a 1-0 lead. Missed a chance for more on the double play ball to win the inning. Pujols, Holiday, Berkman coming up. Breaking ball in there to Albert. Strike one.
Slow, slower, and slowest for all three of these batters.
Foul ball.
And quickly ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. It does not matter how hard Pujols, Holiday, or Berkman hit the baseball when it's foul. The further you can get them out in front of the baseball, the better chance you have of getting them out.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
They start away, and that's the breaking ball for strike 3 there. But the way they started was inside, and then the breaking ball.
Here's Holiday. Breaking ball, strike one. Two and one to Holiday, who bounced out to Scott Rowland, his only time up.
That's not to say that these guys cannot hit the off-speed pitch, but Arroyo is keeping it just off the plate, enough to tantalize or to tease these big hitters in the middle of this Cardinal lineup. Big key has been the breaking ball thus far here early in the ball game.
First walk of the night given up by Arroyo, and it comes in front of Lance Berkman. Reds with a 1-0 lead here in the 4th inning. Reds taking advantage of a misplayed slow roller off the bat of Renteria, where David Freese, the third baseman, could not find the handle. Renteria legged it out. It was scored an infield hit. And then Joey Votto knocked in Drew Stubbs, who had drawn a 1-out walk.
Well, it seems like Holiday has been the one that has been the Achilles heel for Arroyo, and that's probably why he pitched him so tough in that at bat. And I would imagine that will continue throughout the ball game.
Two out in the inning, and back to the bag scrambling is Holiday.
Well, you can really see Berkman get down in that almost a squatted type stance when he hits against Arroyo. Spreads out a little bit. Doesn't normally do that against a guy throwing harder than Arroyo.
Well, what a career Berkman has had. Oh, he has just been an outstanding player.
Well, the addition here for the Cardinals this year, I don't know that there's a better addition out there. If there is, I sure don't know about it for any team.
So here is Freese. He takes a breaking ball up and in, ball 1. I mean, look at those numbers. Nearly a 300 career hitter. 351 home runs, closing in on 1,200 career runs batted in. 2-0 on Freese. Berkman's former team, the Astros, out to a 3-0 third inning lead over the Pirates tonight. And they are on a rain delay, and undoubtedly they are tuned into this one right now out in Denver. Hanging out in the clubhouse. The Brewers and the Rockies coming up after the rain stops. 2-1 to Freese.
Freese likes the fastball, and he likes to hit the fastball the other way. So when you change speeds on him and give him the breaking ball and the changeup, it really takes away from his bat speed and really what he is looking for. That's why you saw him ground out on the first time up. He was way out in front.
Well, Freese 2-0, got a breaking ball. You know, he was singing about a fastball. What about here, 3-1?
Seems like every time that we've seen Arroyo throw a fastball in this count, he's had a little bit too much sink on it. Looks like the breaking ball again.
Nowhere near the strike zone, so a couple of walks here in the inning. And now it's Yadier Molina.
Tom, I'm not sure if that was a breaking ball or if that was a different type of call for a sidearm fastball, because Arroyo really dropped down there. Well, I think it was a breaking ball. It was just a sidearm breaking ball. It came out a tad too early.
Now Arroyo having to pitch out of his first jam of the night. Cardinals have had a base runner in every inning. This is the first time they've had 2 of them. Molina bounced out into a fielder's choice on a ground ball to Renteria, ending the 2nd inning.
And we talked about it in last night's game, and you really talk about it with any ball game. The more times that you let the middle and the bottom of the order get on base, the more times your better hitters are going to come to the plate, the 2, 3, 4, and 5 guys. Or in this case, 3, 4, and 5. Pujols, Holiday, and Berkman.
Well, Now Hannigan wants to come out and visit with Arroyo. What do you suppose this might be about?
Well, I think that they want to make sure that they are making the proper pitches on Molina. Molina likes to shoot the ball into that right center field gap. You don't want to hang him a breaking ball that's out over the plate. That's a pitch that he can hit out of the ballpark.
All right, 1-1 to Molina. Breaking ball is in the air. Should in the inning. Stubbs waving off Heisey. Good work by Arroyo. Cardinals strand 2. Reds lead 1-0. Park Sunday, July the 24th, a week from tomorrow. It'll be the Reds and the Braves, and thanks to Duke Energy Retail, the first 10,000 kids 14 and younger get to take home a Brandon Phillips Kids Nightlight. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that game has been changed to a night game. Yes, there you see it. 8:05, that'll be a Sunday night, a week from tomorrow. 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. Scott Rowland to lead things off, followed by Heisey and Hannigan. The Reds with a 1-0 lead.
We've had a few game time changes this year, have we not?
Well,
I guess that's part of being good.
It is. I mean, you know, you look at the Cardinals. They've been doing this stuff for long 12, 13 years, where they're playing on Fox Saturday baseball. They're playing on Sunday night baseball. They're the big game on a lot of national holiday games. And that's something, hopefully, the Reds will become accustomed to for a long time to come.
That's when you know you're having a good time.
Two-hopper down to Freeze. 1 out. All right, time now for the AT&T trivia question. Cowboy 1 for 1 in your return to the TV booth last night.
See what we got here.
Who is the Reds' all-time leader in leadoff home runs? Well, I mean, there's nobody else I'm guessing besides Pete Rose. And I might be dead wrong. I mean, the guy put on a Reds uniform for, what, 20-something years and led off just about every game? Granted, not known as a home run hitter.
Yeah, but he had to hit a few.
I would think. Look at that. A Pete Rose Expos jersey. Wow.
Probably a one of a kind.
One and one to Heisey. Only apropos we bring up leadoff home runs because, of course, he did it again last night. as he did it the last time he saw the same pitcher on the mound to start a game, Jake Westbrook.
Carpenter cuts that ball off the plate at 88, and he'll try to come back in that same spot, start it a little further out and run it back to the corner. That one he misses high, but he was trying to go there. Carpenter trying to do whatever he can to stay away from Chris Heisey after the 2 balls he jacked out of here last night that were inside.
3-2 to count on Carpenter against Heisey, and he draws a walk.
Carpenter unhappy that he's not getting that low fastball strike, but you can't really have it both ways. You can't get the high strike that he got back in the first inning and then expect to get the ball that is the borderline strike at the bottom of the strike zone. You're going to get one or the other. With Mike Winters, you're going to get the higher strike and a broader strike zone.
All right, 1 on and 1 out. Of course, more so than any other Red, the Reds love playing hit and run with this guy Hannigan. There goes a runner, and it's swung on and dribbled down to third. Freeze makes a play this time, and now caught in the run down is Heisey, and he's thrown out. Terrible base runner.
Heisey wanted to go to third, and he hesitated. He who hesitates, trouble.
Wash and wax for the car. We'll win a car care gift card right now, logging on to foxsportsohio.com or texting SUMMER to 37664. We're giving away prizes every day for 100 days, presented by the Ohio Department of Public Safety. Bronson Arroyo and the Reds 1, Chris Carpenter and the Cardinals nothing. It'll be Arroyo against Carpenter to begin the top of the 5th.
Eight, 9, and 1. And so far, Arroyo has been successful in not having to face Albert, but with only one guy on so far, and he got him to hit into a double play. Be honest with you, Tom, I think Arroyo is more concerned about Matt Holliday in this lineup of monsters than he is about Albert Pujols.
Really? Why?
Just the way he's going about his business. I mean, the pitches to Holiday after having one out were much different than going right after Pujols and striking him out on 3 straight pitches.
That ball is tagged in left center field on a 0-2 pitch. So Carpenter with a leadoff double here in the top of the 5th inning.
Boy, this is an absolute no-no here. You leave a ball right in the middle of the plate, and I'm talking about right down Broadway, 0-2. An 86-mile-an-hour fastball, that's about batting practice speed. Now you got your work cut out for you.
Well, the Reds will see if they're asking Schumacher to bunt the runner down to third, even though that is a pitcher. No sign of a bunt on the first pitch. Now, Carpenter, a big guy. I mean, big, strong guy. A good athlete. I don't know how well he runs at this point in his career, but
he ran pretty good to second base.
Sure did.
3rd double of the year.
2-0 now on Schumacher. Clearly, if the batter now decided to put down a bunt, Votto's playing about 20 feet behind the bag. A 2-0 pitch taken for a strike.
Well, with the runner on second base, most hitters, especially a left-handed hitter, it's much easier to bunt the ball to the third base side, and that's really what you're taught to do. You want the third baseman to vacate third and come get the baseball if you do decide to bunt.
2-1 on Schumacher. 1-0 Reds lead. Grounded foul to even a count.
That's that fastball hitter that I'm talking about. That was a hard fastball sinking inside, and Schumacher still able to get good wood on it. Had that ball been a tad faster, that would have been right down the line.
Schumacher, a very tough out. Arroyo fooled him with a breaking ball his first time up to get him on strikes. Trying to get him out after a leadoff double by the opposing pitcher here in the top of the 5th inning of a 1-0 game. And now Hannigan and Arroyo want to make sure they know exactly what it is they want to do on this 2-2 pitch. Well, Carpenter bent over at the knees, helmet off. You can see that he is completely soaked through that entire jersey. It is a muggy night, not overwhelmingly so. A little bit sticky out there.
Anytime, though, Tom, as a pitcher and you have to run bases, it takes more out of you than not having to run at all. And that's why you'll see managers tell their pitchers, look, you hit the ball right to an infielder, don't run.
Hannigan and Arroyo taking a lot of time trying to get together on what it is they want to do. That's 2 pitches now in a row.
Well, the problem is you're using a different set of signs with a runner at second base. You're going through 3 or 4 signs trying to hide it.
Phillips going to look. He's going to play to third, and they get the out. What a play by Phillips. Seemingly every decision and every play is the right play with Brandon Phillips.
Well, this is why you hand out the Gold Glove, folks, because of awareness and instinct. Then you talk about execution. You heard Dusty Baker talk about it earlier in the ball game. Our team has to execute. Well, in that situation, Phillips not only lets his instincts take over, but the throw is right on the money to nail Carpenter. Now a double play right here. And you don't have to worry about Albert a whole lot again.
Well, Descalso, 1 of 2 in the game, singled into left field his last time up.
Sometimes you wonder, Tom, if the slowdown in the game, the catcher coming out to the mound, the slowness, the pace just dropping off with Arroyo when runners get on base, if it's just not on purpose, just to totally take them out of their game, slow down the adrenaline, take the air out of the game.
Popped up, short left field. Heisey waiting, and that's out number 2. Well, of course, that was something the Dodger organization for so many years, going way back, they would teach their pitchers to do just that. When runners get on base, it's really slow things down. And it's caught on, at least for some guys.
Right. And you have to be able to execute and do it the right way. But the biggest thing for me is, as a hitter, and you do not want to wait. That's the hardest thing to do as a hitter, is to wait on a baseball. You want to get up there and say, bring it on.
Putting down the bunt is Jay, and the throw is high.
Oh,
and advancing first to third is Schumacher on the bunt hit by Jay. Well, I tell you, that John Jay's a ball player.
He is.
He is a nice player.
And you ask yourself, well, why is he bunting there with 2 outs? Because he's trying to put pressure on the defense and get Albert to the plate with an opportunity to hit a big fly and bring home 3 with 1 swing. Perfect bunt. Roland playing back. Arroyo slipped getting to the ball. Tried to hurry his throw, and he airmails it. But the bottom line is, you want Albert at the plate with this situation, 2 outs or not. Because at this point in the lineup, Tom, they ain't no pitching around anybody.
Well, here we go. Runners on the corners. Pujols 0 for 2 in the game. And a first pitch fastball, and probably Pujols figuring that was the last thing in the world coming, after he got 3 breaking balls to strike out his last time up. One run, 3 hits for the Reds. No runs, 5 hits for St. Louis. Each team has left 4. Breaking ball off the outside corner, and that'll even the count.
Looks like Pujols has opened up a little bit, looking for that softy stuff that he got in the first at bat on the inside part of the plate.
Oh, Johnson wanted that call, so did Hannigan, didn't get it.
You see where this is on the Fox tracks. That is a strike. That didn't just edge the corner or maybe a smidgen. That was full baseball on the corner.
2-1 to Pujols. Clobbered into left field, and the Cardinals lead 3-1.
That was the changeup in. And when you see Pujols open up like that and just sit and wait and wait and wait, he's looking for one pitch, and he got it.
Guy's unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Well, the fact that he can come to the plate and look for one pitch, and then when he did get it, he crushed it. This is where Arroyo pitched him early in the ballgame, those changeups inside. And at that point, Pujols was pulling him foul. Well, he opens up a little bit, and that allows him to get his hips through and keep his hands inside. And that's a line drive out of the ballpark.
Mercy, mercy me.
Golly.
This is a rocket from Holiday. Braves get to the ballpark early and be one of the first 30,000 fans to take home a Johnny Gomes bobblehead. Thanks to Champion Window and Patio Rooms. 513-381-REDS. Visit Reds.com for tickets. So now all of a sudden the Reds are forced to play catch up. Arroyo leading off the inning, and he fouls it back out of play. Arroyo struck out against Carpenter his first time up. Albert Pujols with 2 on and 2 out in the top of this inning. Gets a liner to the seats and left to put his team in front. Arroyo gone on strikes for the first out in the inning. We answer our AT&T trivia question. The Reds' all-time leader in leadoff home runs. And the answer is Peter Edward Rose.
Well, I bet.
Stubbs loops one down the right field line. This will be a double. So he's aboard with 1 out. And Stubbs has gotten on base twice tonight. A walk, a run scored, and now a 2-base hit.
Well, this is how the rally started back in the 3rd inning, where the Reds left the bases loaded on a double play ball by Jay Bruce. And this is really Stubbs coming to the plate knowing that regardless of where the pitch is, this is having a plan. The thing that we talked about earlier. When you come to the plate and you have a plan, even if the ball is in on your hands, you still shoot the ball the other way.
Renteria 2 out of 2 tonight. A double to right center and an infield hit. Strike one.
And I would imagine after that rocket that Renteria hit into right center field back in his first at bat, that Carpenter's not going to give him a whole lot out over the plate.
Carpenter 137 career wins against 90 losses. Walt Jocketty, then the general manager of the Cardinals, knew that Carpenter was injured. Signed him anyway from Toronto. And he has been the best pitcher in the National League. If you just add up all the years since he joined St. Louis as a part of their rotation. There have been guys that have been better the last 2 or 3 years. But during his tenure with the Cardinals, no National League pitcher has been better than Carpenter.
He was basically a 500 pitcher in Toronto, maybe one game below.
Shallow center field. Stubbs misreads, and this is a double play. Wow. Right in front of you. Reds are trying to find ways to give it away tonight. Reds will take on the Braves, and after the game, stick around for the Girls Just Want to Have Fun fireworks show. Thanks to Think CBG First. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. Lance Berkman to lead things off. He'll be followed by David Freese and then Yadier Molina. Berkman 1 out of 2, a single to left and lined out to Brandon Phillips. Strike one. Reds jumped in front on a base hit by Joey Votto in the 3rd inning. And now the base is loaded with only 1 out in the 3rd, but a double play ball ended further scoring against Carpenter. And then in the 5th, with 2 outs and 1 on, John Jay surprised everybody by laying down a bunt that turned into a bunt hit. It allowed Albert Pujols to come to the plate, and he does what he does. Pujols hit a 3-run home run. 3 and 2 on Berkman.
And you said it at the time, Tom, that Jay was doing that for no other reason than to get Pujols to the plate. And in the situation where the Reds had, really on the flip side, in the bottom of that inning, Votto is standing on deck with 1 out and a runner at second base, and a ball is flipped into center field. And instead of having a little bit of safety in your base running, you get over aggressive, and you got your heart of your lineup coming up. A fly ball to center field, big deal. You still have Votto coming to the plate with 2 outs, but yet the double play again for the 3rd consecutive inning ends it for the Reds.
Strike 3 to Berkman.
Nice pitch by Arroyo there.
4 strikeout of the game by Bronson Arroyo.
Well, this doesn't happen a whole lot to this guy, and he gets hammered on the old high fastball. And Berkman will disagree with that one until the cows come home.
1 out now for Freese, who bounced into a fielder's choice on a ground ball to Renteria in the 2nd inning and drew a walk in the 4th.
And Arroyo continuing to work quickly. He knows what he's got to do in order to get his Reds back in the game, and that's get them back in the dugout in a hurry.
0-2.
You've got Votto, Phillips, and Bruce coming up, with Rowland and Heisey following if they get a chance to come to the plate. But you want to shut down the opposition quickly. And he's on his way.
3 pitch at bat for Freese. Back-to-back strikeouts for Arroyo here in the 6th inning, and Yadier Molina coming up.
Well, they love Molina here about as much as they love Phillips and St. Louis.
Yep. You know what, though?
That's okay.
If you went to the fan, every Cardinal fan, and you said, hey, you don't have to answer this question out loud. Would you like Phillips on your team?
Heck yeah.
If you went to every Reds fan and said, hey, would you like Molina on your team?
Heck yeah.
The answer would be the same. A 1-2. All right, heart of the order coming up. Reds down 3-1. Cam, images from the game-ending home run last night by Brandon Phillips. Our Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Phillips will follow Votto, then Jay Bruce here in the Reds' sixth, trailing 3-1.
As Phillips described that last night, very vividly reminded me, you did, Tom, that was Reds baseball. Well, these boys need to start playing a little Reds baseball. Only 66 pitches on the board for Carpenter, and he is third in the National League in average pitches per game. And it's nothing for him to hit that 120 mark.
Votto knocked in the only Reds run. That was on a single to left field back in the third inning. Again in the bottom of the sixth inning with the Reds against Carpenter, and outside of that start earlier this year when they beat him for the first time since 2006. This guy has just completely, thoroughly, in every way imaginable, dominated the Reds. There has not been like, you know, a pitch here and a pitch there makes a difference in a game. It has been complete domination outside of one game.
Well, as a pitcher, when you're facing a foe that you have had some general success with, as time goes on, your confidence continues to build. So you don't worry so much about the pitches that you're throwing. You just keep the ball down. You continue to move the ball around, change speeds, and you relax a little bit on the mound and just make the pitches that you need to make. And ultimately, that's what pitching is all about anyway, throwing strikes and changing speeds. Where most pitchers get in trouble is facing a team where they're having difficulty and they throw ball one, ball two, so they're always behind in the count, and they get hammered again.
2 out. Unquestionably, the biggest single at bat in this game so far for Carpenter was when he faced Jay Bruce back in the third inning.
Yep, the 6-4-3 double play.
Much like last night's game, Reds had a bases loaded, 1 out, did not score. Bases loaded, none out, did not score. Bases loaded, 1 out tonight, did not score. That's a pile of runners out there on the base paths.
You can see Carpenter continue to flip that first pitch curveball over the plate for a strike. It's not something that a hitter wants to swing at, but it's a great advantage for a pitcher when you can get ahead with a slow pitch. Especially a little curveball, because then you can broaden out, hit the edges of the plate, maybe a slider that looks like a fastball, get the hitter to swing right over the top of it. There you go. Curveball, strike one, fastball in. He starts this one a little bit lower, and Bruce has to respect the fact that it could be a strike, and he takes a hack at it. Curveball, fastball, curveball, fastball. He's either going to come with a fastball in or the curveball away.
Line into left field, a 2-out single.
Left that one up. Tried to go with a fastball away. He'd have had me, but he left it up in the zone, and You could see Carpenter looking up at the big board to find out where the location was, and that was up and in the middle of the plate. Bruce gets on top of it and hits a line drive into left field to keep it alive. Let's don't forget the ball that Rolen hit back in the second inning in his first time up. Ball sent John Jay all the way to the bullpen wall.
Breaking ball up and in, ball 1 to Rolen. A 2-run Cardinal lead with 2 out and 1 on here in the Red 6th.
The only problem with flipping that curveball over there for strike 1 is if you miss, you don't have a whole lot of place to go except the heater. Looked like that was what Rolen was looking for, and instead of sinking in on Rolen, that ball cut away.
Two. There's
a lot of difference between a 73, 75 mile an hour curveball with some bite, which is what Carpenter has going tonight, and then that 93, 94 mile an hour fastball.
Getting over. They hit a man left. We go to the 7th. Cardinals lead 3-1.
In the nation on U.S. News and World Report's Honor Roll for
Well, the Reds get it done with an RBI this year. That means another $25 from Shakely goes to the Reds Community Fund. Shakely. It's done. Speaking of the Reds Community Fund, the man, of course, who runs it, Charlie Frank. His son, Sam, just turned 9 years old this week, having a little party, hanging out at the game here tonight. So, Sam, happy birthday. Carpenter doubled his last time up, drives Stubbs to right center, and he'll run it down. 1 pitch, 1 out for Arroyo in the 7th, with the Cardinals leading 3-1. Speaking of birthdays, we had a big birthday party today for my little girl Ellen. We just celebrated number 8.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. The love of my life. That pitch taken outside. Ball one. LMA. Big day today. I would like to think she is sound asleep right about now.
Yes, sir.
1-0 to Schumacher. And it's lined off the end of the bat. And that'll fall the base hit. As you know, Cowboy, daddies and their little girls. There's nothing like it.
Believe me, I know. I know. I got two of them.
Now Descalso, 1 of 3 in the game.
Daddies and their mamas ain't too bad.
No, no. Man, they're boys. It goes on and on. Nothing better. One out, one on. Back to the top of the order for the Cardinals. We've got a 3-run home run with 2 on, 2 out from their main man.
And the Reds virtually sit exactly in the same spot that they did back in that 5th inning.
With us in that inning, Arroyo with 1 on, a runner at first and 1 out, retired this batter, Descalso, on a pop up into shallow left field. But then perhaps the second biggest play of the game as you get a look at Bray ready. So is Andrusic. The John Jay bunt for a base hit. That allowed Pujols to come to the plate and hit the home run. Now, I am venturing to say, and you were a great pitcher for a long time, Cowboy, that Arroyo might tell you the biggest at bat in the inning was Carpenter's double. Only because if you retire him leading off the 8th inning, you never have to think about worrying about Pujols in that inning. Arroyo might say, hey, look, if I just take care of that guy on an 0-2 pitch like I'm supposed to, instead of leaving one right down the middle that he whacks into left center for a double, I'll go after Schumacher and I'll take care of the leadoff man, and Pujols is still 2 batters away.
I think the biggest at bat was the at bat by John Jay, because he did what you're supposed to do. When you're hitting in front of Pujols, you get on base any way you can.
When it goes, high tapper to Phillips, scoops it up and throws him out. But you know where I'm going with that, though.
I mean, exactly where you're going.
Saying still, the bottom line is, I mean, conceivably, John Jay never comes to the plate in that inning. If you get the pitcher out to start the inning, because you got the next 2 guys out.
Right.
Well, now with 2 away in the inning, and the Reds not believing for a second that Jay would think about doing it again.
I'd do it again right now.
You got Votto a good 20 feet behind the bag. Rolling a good 10 or 15 feet behind the bag. And no sign of a bunt on the first pitch. Ball 1.
Well, the issue for Jay, he does have some speed, and if he bunts the ball hard down the third base line, I think he's got himself a hit.
Clobbered foul.
Where Roland is playing now, there's no way that he's going to be able to get to a bunt down the third baseline and throw the runner out, because he would be coming at an angle basically towards the backstop and have to throw at an incredible angle. It would be left up to Bronson Arroyo to make the play. Not to say that he couldn't do it, but if you're bunting hard down the line, not happening.
Runner out at second base, Schumacher. 2 are out in the inning. 2-1 to John Jay. And a base hit into center field to make it a 4-1 game. We said it earlier. Guy's a ball player. And he's been waiting for the chance to play regularly for a couple of years now. Quite honestly, it's hard to believe he's not playing regularly.
Well, that was another 86-mile-an-hour fastball from Arroyo, and I mean, he has pitched his tail off today, but let's face it, he does not have his velocity back. He hasn't had it the whole first half, and he didn't have it tonight.
So be our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Logan Ondrusek on to face Pujols. The night. Final numbers for Arroyo.
Well, this is the position that Arroyo got himself into in the 7th inning in St. Louis. Got to the 7th. He didn't have 100 pitches, and yet there was no move made out of the bullpen to give him any help at all. I can remember when Greg Maddux got on in his career, he pitched 6 innings, they took him out of the game.
Strike one on Ondrusek to Pujols.
Let me ask you this, Tom, because we showed a spot down in the bullpen. Was Bill Bray was already up and ready, correct?
There's a roller, and they take care of Pujols. Yes is the answer to the question. Well, the Cardinals tack on a run, middle of the 7th. They lead by 3. Up to offer you a great value this year. Check concession stands throughout the ballpark for the Kroger meal deal, which includes a full-size adult hot dog, a bag of chips, 16-ounce Coke, and during this homestand, Sargento string cheese, all for just $7. Reds now down by 3. And Descalso, a nice play to throw out Heisey to open up the 7th.
Whitecat's got a pretty good arm, doesn't he?
Yeah, the guy's a nice little player.
A little pirouette right there, and he threw a bullet over there to Albert. I mean, this is a shortstop's arm right here. The turn, and watch this laser throw over there. The point I was getting at, Tom, in the last inning, if you have both Andrusik and Bray up in the bullpen, who's Bray up for? That's the part that I didn't understand. Because it's definitely not Albert. It's not Holiday. If you get to Berkman, the game's over. It's not Freeze. John Jay just beat you.
And we showed you earlier that Bray was up with Logan Andrusik, and both of them were ready to go. There's a base hit in the left field by Hannigan. Well, he has a one-out hit. Because the Reds rallied late last night. But let's be honest about it. Tonight's an even taller order, because you're going up against one of the very best. He may not be having the kind of year that he has had for so long in Carpenter, but he's been pitching like the old Chris Carpenter outside of that last start against Arizona for the better part of about 3 weeks.
Well, you just don't want to put that kind of pressure on your hitters nor on your bullpen, where everybody's got to be perfect. Now, for Arroyo starting the ball game and throwing at 86 or 87, he does have to be perfect. He's got to be almost perfect with every pitch. Otherwise, he's going to give up the long ball, or he's going to get hit to death. Because let's face it, his velocity is not back yet. And I don't know that it will be. But for 6 innings, he did all right. You're going to have to start thinking about taking him out of the ball game after 6 innings.
Johnny Gomes up there to bat for Andrusik, who retires Pujols to end that 7th inning. Now, Carpenter has barely broken a sweat out there tonight. He had stressful innings in the 1st and the 3rd. Outside of that, nothing.
Well, he's gotten double plays when he's had to have it, whether he lucked into them or whether he pitched into him,
or the Reds ran into him.
That's right. That was the luck part.
Yeah. Clearly, Gomes did not like that 2-0 call. Two and one to Johnny. Broken bat pop-up. And this might fall. Pujols. Wow, what a play. Did a complete 360. 2 out.
These are the kind of plays that you wonder, how in the world does a base play? You're running down the line with your back to home plate, and then you just start turning. You see outfielders make them. Second baseman going back, third baseman, first baseman in that position. Catchers make them sometimes. It just shows you why you're in the big league.
Mm-hmm. All right, now Stubbs. And there's a bouncing ball to right field, a base hit. Been a good night at the plate for Stubbs after a strikeout his first time up. Walked and scored in the 3rd, double to right in the 5th. And with that wide open right side, just bounces one through. And now the Reds have 2 on in the inning.
Well, here's the issue, Tom. We talked about the game plan last time up. Take the ball, whether it's in or whether it's out, and shoot the ball the other way. It allows you to stay back longer so that you can see the breaking ball better, and you're not pulling off that front shoulder. And yet now we've seen Stubbs take 2 balls that were running in on his hands and hit them the other way.
Renteria, the batter, has 2 hits, has doubled to right center, had an infield hit in the 3rd, and then flied out to a double play his last time up. Now this becomes very similar to the John Jay at bat in front of Pujols back in the 5th inning. Not to dare suggest Renteria's thinking about bunting you, but the Reds want their main man to have a chance to bat in this inning, and he's standing on deck, and he'll be left on deck on a 1-0 pop-up. Inning over. Cowboy, whenever you play the Cardinals, frequently the cold hard blast is a cold hard blast by number 5.
Well, that was the only movement that Pujols made throughout that at bat. He was looking for that pitch when he came to the plate. It's amazing. You look at a great hitter, and whatever you got him out with in his first at bat, which was a changeup inside that he grounded to Rolen for the 5-4-3 double play, he did not come off of that pitch until he hit the home run. He struck out looking for it in the 4th on breaking balls, 3 consecutive. When he got the changeup there in the 5th inning, it was the final pitch of everything was away. That was the only pitch that was inside. And as soon as he got to the plate, he had already opened up his stance so he could keep the ball fair in case he was a little bit early. He didn't miss it.
Sam LeCure takes over on the mound here for the Cardinal 8th inning. And he'll be facing Matt Holliday, Lance Berkman, and David Freese. Four runs, 8 hits for St. Louis, 5 men left, 1 run, 7 hits in air, 7 left on for the Reds. And there is not even a whisper of activity in the Cardinal bullpen. The only guy walking around down in the Cardinal bullpen is a Cincinnati police officer, just stretching his legs out there. And he's down there because La Russa told him to lock the gate.
Don't let anybody out. Well, we knew coming into the ball game, we talked about this earlier, Carpenter is 3rd in the National League as far as pitches per ball game. And for him to throw 120 pitches is really not that big a deal.
Pirates have come back from a 3-1 deficit. Have taken a 1-run lead over the Astros. That game in the 6th inning in Houston. And they're finally underway in Denver. Milwaukee and Colorado, after a rain delay, are scoreless in the 2nd inning.
Jeez, the way Pittsburgh is playing, you'd think they were in first place.
Which, as we know, they are. What a job Clint Hurdle has done there with the Pirates. You know, most people out there saying, it's not going to last. Well, you know what? They don't know more than you know or more than I know. Nobody knows where the Pirates are going to be.
Both Hurdle and Kirk Gibson have totally changed the mental outlook of their club.
Stubbs underneath, the pop-up by Holiday, 1 out.
And in this game, at the big league level, everybody has talent. And a lot of times, the difference between one team or the other sometimes just comes down to your mental toughness and your ability to fight through adversity.
Big crowd on that boat out there. And a big crowd inside this vessel known as Great American Ballpark. Sell out again. Well, the Reds fans have been pouring into Great American Ballpark, rooting, hoping this team can recapture the magic of a year ago.
There was a whole lot of magic late in this ball game last night. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there hoping for it again.
Indeed.
Cardiac kids, comeback kids, whatever you want to call them. But wouldn't you want to have a blowout every once in a while? Get out in front and make it good. Speaking of good, Penn Station was awfully good to me today.
Was it?
It was outstanding. Crushed it 3 games. Made my tummy go ha-ha.
Well, you know, you are known now as a pitch man.
Oh, really?
That's what the newspaper says.
Oh, wow. There you go.
The man.
I just like food.
Two and two on Berkman. That's trailing 4-1.
Speaking of that, I may have to slide on over and pick me up the old 8 spot tonight.
Saturday and 2 to Berkman.
The old Saturday night special.
And there's strike 3 on Lance. Second straight time he's gone down looking. 2 away in the inning. And for those of you that don't know about the Saturday night special, as you get another look at this pitch. That is when Cowboy goes rolling into his local United Dairy Farmers. He doesn't order a couple of scoops, maybe 3. Not 4, 5, 6, or 7. But 8 of them at one time. And if I remember right, it's been a while. Generally, your recipe goes something along the line of 3 scoops of mint chocolate chip. I can't remember what the 3 are in the middle, but then you put the 2 more of mint chocolate chip on the top so it oozes down.
Yeah.
What are the 3 in the middle?
Cookies and cream.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's good, too. Trust me. By the time I get home and get it up where I'm nice and comfy on the couch with my special TV show on. That mint chocolate chip is kind of drizzled down all the way through, so everything is just a little minty.
That wouldn't be enough for you right there in that hat.
That's a snack. I might need about 3 of them a hat.
I popped into UDF the other day, and our local manager, Wayne, came up to me and he said, you got to tell the Cowboy that they're listening to him talk about our product out there. They said 2 women came in, senior women, and walked in the door and looked at him and said, I want 2 scoops of peach ice cream right now, and I get 1 of them for free. That's what the Cowboy just told me.
That's right. I'll let you know when the special's on.
Served into right, getting over. All right,
Sam
Otto, Phillips, and Bruce. Coming up, Reds down by 3. Blowing out Carpenter at third. And then this. I still can't believe he made that play.
I can't believe that it didn't tear his glove off.
Yeah.
When you see the webbing of an infielder's glove snap back like that. Yeah.
All right, here comes the heart of the order again. The same trio that Carpenter handled rather easily in the 6th inning. Votto, Phillips, Bruce. Jay did have a 2-out single into left field, but then he struck out rolling. Reds down 3. And again, they have pretty much severed the phone line from the dugout to the bullpen for the Cardinals. Punto replaces Freeze at third. 1-2 to Votto. I mean, this game is Carpenter's game. Win, lose, or draw.
He would have to get in awful big trouble for them to go to the bullpen.
And even then, you wonder if they would.
Well, only if he lets the game tie up. Yeah, they're not going to take him out of the ballgame.
2-2 to Votto, knocked in the only Reds run with a single into left field in the 3rd inning. And this is served on the ground and under the glove of Descalso. That'll be an error on the Cardinals shortstop, or should be anyway. And it is.
Let's catch a break right there. That ball hugged right on the infield dirt. And it looked as though Descalzo came up just a tad to try to spin to make the throw, or get in position to spin and make the throw. And in that situation, glove up, ball under, E6.
Let's see if the Reds can take advantage of that miscue. Here's Brandon Phillips, 0 for 3 in the game. Strike one.
Well, the hole that the Reds have been able to find has not been on the left side of the infield. It has been between Schumacher and Pujols on the right side, especially when Pujols is holding on a runner.
Pitch of the night upcoming for Carpenter. 1 on, none out. 0-2 on Brandon Phillips. Fly ball, short right center. Berkman digging. 1 out.
Well, each one of these at-bats for the Reds here in the next 5 outs have got to be grind down at bats. They've got to be your absolute best concentration, best possible swing that you can put on the baseball.
One ball and one strike.
Tell you what, Chris Carpenter, with the combination of he and Molina behind home plate, they really move the ball around about as good as you can do it. Cutter in to Bruce, sinker away. And instead of coming back in there, he runs that sinker back away from Bruce. And Bruce pulls off of it and fouls it back on a pitch that was really a ball. Now it's curveball time in the dirt. Everything has been elevated. You start it up there and you drop it right into the ground.
That pitch right there is what he did to Bruce when he bounced into that roller to Pujols when Jay left 2 on back in the first inning.
See where the ball goes. It goes right down into the foot of Jay Bruce, or right off the knee of Jay Bruce. But what did Albert Pujols do? He didn't just grab the ball and just say, well, he's hopping around, no big deal. He spins and fires a strike to the shortstop at second base. You play on until the umpire says stop.
Jay 1 of 3 in the game, and a ground ball to Pujols, stranding 2 in the first inning. Bounced into the double play with the bases loaded in the third, and had a 2-out single to left in the 6th. And Bruce looks at strike 3. 2 out in the inning.
Starts the fastball in off the plate, and You can see the emotion from Carpenter. He is jacked. You don't think he's in game mode right now? Carpenter is what you call a finisher.
Now Roland 0 for 3 in the game. Strike one. You know, the first 3 batters in the order, there's been action all night long. Everybody else, it has been quiet as a church. Or just the church as a whole. Phillips reached on an error. Bruce 1 of 4, but 2 huge at bats when guys were on. Roland, Heisey, hits. Hannigan 1 of 3. Top 3 guys in the order. Now you can say, well, Stubbs ran into that double play in the 5th. You're right. But he's walked, scored, doubled, single. Renteria, 2 hits. Votto, walk, hit, RBI on base 3 times. Punto just in the game and throws it away. And the runners go to second and third. So the second error in this inning. And Carpenter not happy. Yelled something into his glove. So the Reds get a 5th out.
That's the first pitch of a slow nature that he has given to Roland, and Roland rips it down the third baseline, and Dave Duckett is going to go out and see what he can do to calm down the right-hander Carpenter. 110 pitches now for Carpenter.
Boy, he is hot.
Well, what Carpenter wants to do is to finish this ball game. And he knows as that pitch count climbs, his chances of finishing are slimmer and slimmer.
Well, now a chance. They've given you 2 extra outs in the inning. And here's Heisey. Heisey, a pair of ground balls to the shortstop. He's drawn a walk. 0-1. Heisey, a pair of home runs last night. He has Votto at third base. Roland at second with 2 away. Reds have left 7 on in the game so far. 2-0.
This is where the fatigue really comes in for Carpenter. You really gutted out the at-bat with Jay Bruce, and you came up successful. You make the pitch against Roland, and then Punto throws it away. The second error in the inning. He's pitching to face Hannigan.
Yeah. And the question is, will he face Hannigan? I mean, Hannigan in the game tonight is 1 out of 3, but let's face it, Ramon Hernandez is an option on that bench.
Yeah, so is Zach Kozar.
Yep. So is Zach Kozar. So is Fred Lewis. 3-1 to Heisey.
has thrown Heisey 4 consecutive sliders. 3 in the dirt, and that one was borderline.
3-1. Came with a fastball and beat him on a fastball. Boy, he challenged Heisey there, did Carpenter.
Molina had set up inside. And that ball was out over the plate.
Chris trying to deliver the big hit. 2 on, 2 out. Golly day. That ball 3 feet outside. And Carpenter has done it again to the Reds, at least through 8. Pools. We'll come for the Reds today for more fun. Enter to win a Cincinnati USA getaway package. Visit CincinnatiUSA.com.
Boy, 2 errors in the inning, and the Reds just could not capitalize. It's going to be the story of the second half, Tom. I'm telling you, if the Reds can't come up with the big hit and the crucial hit when they're given opportunities time and time again, they're going to have a difficult time offensively.
Molina on the ground to Renteria to begin the 9th inning. 1 out.
And it came all the way down to 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th for Brandon Phillips before the Reds were able to get that big hit. But that's not going to happen every night. And the Reds have definitely had their chances tonight.
I think it's safe to say that, you know, so far this year, and generally when you're right around a 500 team. Now, if you're a team that had had a 500 year in a long time, use the Pirates as an example, 500 team, you wouldn't call it a frustrating 500 team. The Reds are a 500 team with far greater expectations coming off a divisional championship season last year. And I think the thing that, you know, people I bump into, grocery store, UDF, wherever it is, well, hanging out in the neighborhood. And really, we have seen it 3 times in the last 2 games. Bases loaded. Or in other cases, not even a ball put in play.
A strikeout. So those are things that obviously are being evaluated and will continue to be evaluated over the next 14 days, 2 weeks, if the Reds are inclined to make a move at the 31st deadline. But I mean, you're looking at a 4-1 ball game that's still a winnable ball game, whether it's Chris Carpenter on the mound or not.
Well, Carpenter obviously is no longer in the game because he's been taken down for the pinch hitter Colby Rasmus. And Rasmus, well, the Reds pitch to him like he's Mickey Mantle. Aroldis Chapman walked him in front of the home run of Albert Pujols last night, and now Sam LeCure walks him with one out here in the 9th inning.
And that's all for Sam. Fred Lewis has already started onto the field.
So now you're going to bring in left-handers to face these batters, where you had the same trio back in the 7th inning. So Fred Lewis will enter, part of a double switch. And we'll tell you about the new Reds pitcher Bill Bray when we return. Night on Fox Sports Ohio. Stay with us for Reds Live, the post-game version brought to you by Kings Honda in the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. Left-hander Bill Bray on to face Schumacher with 1 on, 1 out. Cardinals leading in the 9th, 4-1.
48th appearance for Bill Bray.
He faced 2 batters in the game last night and couldn't retire either one of them. Allowed a hit, nearly threw that ball away. Apparently there was a missed sign, it appeared last night, on somebody's part. After Punto singled against Bray to begin the 9th, he was thrown out stealing. And then Bray walked the next batter, Descalso, who happens to be on deck right now. Strike 1. Colorado a 3-0 third inning lead on Milwaukee. Pirates still lead in the bottom of the 8th inning at Houston 4-3. If you're looking at the bottom of the 9th inning for the Reds, Ryan Hannigan, Fred Lewis, Drew Stubbs. The Reds are hoping for a lot more than that. Strike 2.
8, 9, and 1 for the Reds. But the first order of business is making sure the Cardinals don't pad that lead. Good fastball in there by Bray. Now you want to make your put away pitch here. And you want to make him make contact. This could very well be a double play ball. If you can get a breaking ball for a strike. Of course, he comes back with a fastball. Playing with fire, throwing Schumacher fastballs. I can tell you that right now. Start the breaking ball at a height where it looks like a fastball and breaks down and away. Good pitch. 2 out.
The rookie Fernando Salas is cranking it up in the bullpen. He will have a chance to save it for Chris Carpenter in the bottom of the ninth. Salas allowed the single to Cozart. And the home run to Brandon Phillips to end the game last night. Just his third blown save of the year. So here we go, bottom of the ninth. Nice job by Barrett. Lewis, Stubbs, Reds down 3. Board card on the Cardinal closer, Fernando Salas. Gave up the big home run last night to Phillips. But unless the Reds make some big time swings right here,
It won't be Phillips doing the damage tonight. It'll have to be somebody else.
Well, Ryan Hannigan going to lead things off. 1 of 3 in the game. Singled his last time up. Fred Lewis next. Drew Stubbs. Reds down 3. Strike 1 to Hannigan. Well, Salas has only blown 3 saves all year long. You may remember early in the year, Ryan Franklin began the year as their closer, lost his job very quickly. And they had narrowed it down between the 2 youngsters, Salas and Sanchez, as to who would be the closer. There you see the Farmers Insurance report card on Salas. In the air, 1 out. Sanchez has gotten hurt. You may remember the Reds in the first game of the series when the Reds swept the Cardinals in May here. Sanchez came in behind Salas. Salas had just blown through the Reds. 2 perfect innings. I mean, they didn't even make a noise off this guy. But they were using Sanchez to close. And he blew a save against the Reds. Ball 1 to Fred Lewis. Astros have tied the Pirates 4-4. Of course, quite honestly, the scoreboard watching, the only one the Reds are worried about these days is watching the score of their own game. They have still not won back-to-back games in almost a month. And they're 2 outs away from continuing that streak. 3-1 on Freddie Lewis.
See, this is where at the end of the ball game, hitters start thinking about home runs instead of thinking about getting on base. This is ball 4, and Fred Lewis is thinking about 4 bags.
Two out. It's hard to do oftentimes, but you certainly have to give the credit where the credit is due. And there is just simply no denying that outside of 1 bad start in the month of May on a chilly, rainy afternoon, Chris Carpenter quite simply has the Reds number. I mean, whether it's dominating them over the course of 9 innings, 8 innings tonight, or when the pressure is clearly on Carpenter out on the mound. The runners are on base. You have a chance to really do some damage against him. He finds a way to get it done.
No pitch sequence better identified in what you just said.
Stubbs a base hit into center field to keep the hopes alive.
Then with runners at second and third, and the man who hit 2 home runs in last night's ball game, and he strikes him out on a 3-2 pitch
after falling behind 3-0.
Exactly.
Well, again, all you can ask for, all you can wish for right now, and we said it back in the 7th inning, is for Renteria to find a way to keep this inning alive and give Votto one chance. Reds had 2-1 in that 7th inning, and Renteria popped up.
Salas is not overpowering. He's going to give Renteria a fastball to hit, especially in this situation when you're up by 3 and a home run doesn't matter. But the thing that Renteria has got to do is realize that if he does get that fastball, you don't overswing. You either hit the ball up the middle or you shoot it through the right side. You got a big hole over there with Pujols holding on Stubbs.
Renteria, and now a ball and 2 strikes.
Pretty good split finger right there. That one started right in the same spot as that 1-0 fastball. And by the time Renteria got the bat to the strike zone, the bottom had fallen out of it.
Runner takes second base. 2-2 to Renteria.
Salas looking over at first base, wondering where the runner went. Hey, they're at second.
That's the old ball game. Cardinals have even the series at a game apiece in another dominant performance by Chris Carpenter. He wins his 5th game against 7 losses. Salas a save, and Arroyo the loser. Arroyo goes to